So welcome to part 2 for the handling comparison of my 4 shamshir. I'm starting with the sword by one, and I really like the way this one looks too. Alright, so I'm just going to do some free flow. I'm not going to do it very long because I got 4 swords to show, but I'm going to try to be fast and powerful, and then I'm going to get a feel for it. And I'm going to do left and right side, so bear with me on that. Cold steel. Left-handed cold steel. LK Chen. Damascus Steelcraft, shamshir. Alright, so just did a little bit of free flow with all 4. One thing I want to point out right away is the LK Chen. Because it's so balanced and it's light on top of its exceptional balance, it is a very, very fast and agile blade. So if you're looking to get a shamshir, there's a bit of surface rust right there. I'll have to polish off, no worries. And if you're looking to get a shamshir and you're not super strong yet, this might be a good choice. I believe they make them in blunt form too. If you've never really handled a sword, I would recommend getting a blunt first. A blunt sword, that is. Yeah, this is so very light. Like, I've been sick off and on since late December. I was seriously sick late December. So I haven't had a lot of strength that I normally have, because I'm a big strong guy. And normally. And this one has been a good alternative for me to train with when I'm lacking energy and strength because of my illness that I've been suffering through. So this is definitely a good choice if you're looking for one that's light and very well balanced. If you're looking for a sharp one too, this one is exceedingly sharp, and it's sharpened very similarly to antique examples. It's sharpened from the spine to the edge. So, and this, it's just a dream to handle this one. One thing I would like to point out about my Damascus Steelcraft shamshir is the grip. So my hand fits perfectly in the grip. And if you see up close, you could see those finger grooves just slightly in there. So my hand locks in. So it makes handling this just fantastic. Edge alignment is much easier because of this grip. And it's arguably probably my heaviest sword. But because of the balance and because of how my hand is locked in, I honestly think it's my best handling sword, at least for me, because my hand locks in, and the blade itself is an antique blade, so it's well made. The edge alignment is perfect. The blade will just shoot right up to its edge if you balance it on your hand. If I take it out the scabbard here, I'll show you actually. See, look, you see how it's edge up? If I push it forward, it goes right back up. So you know the edge alignment from the smith who made it exceedingly well. So it's super easy to control this. The heft of it is mitigated by its balance, but you can feel the heft of it when you're swinging it, but it's like a graceful heft. I don't know how to quite describe it. I just hit the carpet in the ground with my shamshir. Definitely don't do that. I wasn't paying attention. But yeah, it's, man, so far I think this is my favorite sword. Just handling the weight, it's like I couldn't have imagined having a sword like this until I got it, because previously had been using this for years, which is still a very good sword. This cold steel, especially if you modify it like I did, the modification, even though it's a bit crude because I'm not a master artisan, if you can modify your cold steel, it makes the handling of it much better. And this is a great choice if you're on a budget or you're not sure if you even like using these types of swords yet. So, but if you have like curious, you're like, I don't want to spend too much money, you can find these for sub $200 all day now. So this would be a good choice, especially if you can modify the grip, make it more Persian. What I did was I got a cap of a chair, a brass cap, and I filed that ball at the end, and then I epoxied this in, and it greatly improved the handling of the sword. This one, I feel, and I'm going to do a cutting test, I feel this is probably going to be my worst cutter. Just because I've cut with it many times already, and I don't know if it's the edge angle, I don't know if it's me, it's probably me. But I think when I get into test cutting, I think this one's probably going to do the least outstanding. but this is still a really good sword. In terms of handling it, I would say it's actually pretty good. The balance is about average for historical examples. So, from a European perspective, you might not like the balance of this, but from Persian perspective, it's about average. So I would say this is a good starting sword. It's gonna last a lifetime as long as you oil it, keep it sharp, take care of it. It's definitely gonna last a lifetime. You could fight a war with this sword. The steel is tough. The steel is great. If you could strip the blade from this and put on your own fittings, it would be an amazing sword. I'm not the biggest fan of the scabbard. I just think it's ugly. It works very well though. It's just ugly to me. Sorry, I'm still overcoming this illness I've been suffering from. Alright, so yeah, this one handles pretty good. It's not the best handling sword I have, but it's pretty good. Like, I would be comfortable using this any day. I've had it for years, so I've put a lot of hours into this sword. It's definitely, if you modify this part, definitely makes it way better at handling. Alright, so now we'll talk about this sword by Kilich, which I love this sword too. This one has good edge alignment too. See that? It just shoots right up. The cold steel doesn't do that, but my LK Chen and my Damascus Steelcraft does. But this one has good edge alignment too. It doesn't really have any taper, like barely any. So if you're one of those guys that need perfect distal taper, this definitely isn't the sword for you. This is definitely a budget tier sword. So handling though, I quite like the balance of this one a lot as well. I really don't have any complaints about it. The spinning, like in the other video, oops, I really need to pay attention. It's the second time I did that. Bent the tip on this one. It's alright, I'll fix that. So the spinning on this one is not as fluid as my other ones, but swinging it and actually using it like a sword is very nice. I noticed that since the first time I used it. So this is, I would say this is a pretty good option too. The grip, surprisingly, the grip is really nice. Like, I like the way it feels. It's a little bit big, but that's normal, especially for reproductions. And what I like about this grip in particular is it has a typical Turkish grip where it's kind of like bulged, but on the top it's relatively flat. So it makes handling and controlling the point very good. So there's no need for, at least for me, to modify it. It handles very good. The shape of the grip is nice. It fits nice in the hand. My only issue is I sweat a lot, especially in the summer. So I have to tape it because I'll sweat and then it starts turning like that. But handling this is very nice. Compared to, and this is Turkish based, so I don't know anything about Turkish swords at all. And I'm not an expert in swords, period, but I'm fairly knowledgeable on Persian swords because I'm part of Razmafzaruk and I have the books, and I'm a direct student of Dr. Khorasani. This, I would say the balance of this is about average too. So this is pretty good balance from Persian perspective. Again, if you're into European sabers, this might not be the sword you want. But this is a good, I would say this is a pretty decent sword. The steel, I know this is about handling, but I do want to point out the steel is a bit soft. So you will ding up the edge relatively easy, but it doesn't chip. It just folds over and bends. So, which is surprising because I thought this was a type of stainless. It still might be a type of stainless. I don't know. But I don't think it is. I think it's some kind of treated steel that's not stainless because it doesn't act like stainless. It's not brittle. So, but yeah, back to topic on hand. this one handles very well as well. I quite like this one a lot. If you're looking at getting it, I would recommend it. The only thing is, given it is a budget price sword, so you're not getting a high-end sword. My only major complaint, and you could kind of fix that, is this crossguard is in 2 pieces. So mine actually ended up coming loose, but I fixed it. I epoxied it together, I clamped it and epoxied it. I filled in all the gaps. So that's my only issue with this one particularly. But another good thing that you could do from Sword Buy is they'll sell you a bare blade. So what, if you're looking at getting the blade, and I think it's worth it, honestly. You can get the bare blade. I would get it blunt. I would do the edge yourself, because the edge they put on it is very, very sharp, but it's very aggressive, as you can see. They don't sharpen the yalman. So what I would recommend, if you're looking at least interest in the blade, and they can even do engravings for you as well. I think it's laser engravings, but anyways, you could get a bare blade, and you can get a scabbard for it from them. I quite like their scabbard actually a lot. I think it looks very nice to me. I like the look of it a lot. Not a big fan of these key rings that they have on it, because they're weak, but the scabbard itself is very nice. But you could get a bare blade and add your own fittings if you're handy, or get a smith to do it, and I think you would have a pretty solid choice. As long as you put a good edge on it, you'd have a pretty solid choice in a sword, especially if you can customize your own grip. It would definitely be worth trying out, and it's something I'm interested in at some point, getting a bare blade from Sword Buy and building my own sword. So that's definitely something to consider. But yeah, I would say these all handle very well. None of them handle bad. Honestly, I think my best handling one for me in particular, it's very close between my Chen and my Damascus Steelcrafts, but I would say my Damascus Steelcrafts probably handles the best for me. It just locks into my hand, and just swinging it, I could feel it cutting through the air effortlessly, and I feel like it embodies everything I would want in a shamshir. Like I didn't know exactly what I wanted in a sword until I had that one made, and then like I think I kind of understand now what a really well-made sword is supposed to be like. And if it gets better than that, I couldn't even imagine it gets better than that in handling. There's some things about it, like the scabbard, that could be better, but the sword, what I'm talking about, I couldn't imagine getting one that handles better than that, at least for me. So I think it's the perfect sword for me, and I really like it, really, really like it. And I hope this video was enjoyable, and thank you for watching.